Welcome back to Blue Jays Express. The Blue Jays just received their strongest and most optimistic update yet on the long-awaited Bo Bichette resigning, a deal many believed was dead months ago. However, at the exact same moment, a new prediction from league executives positions Toronto to pursue a $400 million World Series champion, a move that would instantly redefine the franchise. Two seismic updates, two possibilities that could reshape the future of the organization. And both point in one direction. The Blue Jays are preparing for the most aggressive moves of their modern era. In this video, we're going to break down why insiders suddenly believe Bo Bichette is closer than ever to a long-term extension, how Toronto has quietly positioned itself to chase a 400-mailer superstar, and what hidden obstacles could derail both plans. And yes, at the end of this video, we'll reveal who that World Series champion actually is and whether this projection makes real sense. Before we continue, hit like and subscribe to support the channel. Go Blue Jays! For the first time since Bichette entered the free agency window, Toronto's internal confidence has surged, not cautiously, dramatically. Sources describe a shift in tone inside the front office. Conversations feel more productive, the structure of an extension appears more realistic, and there's now internal belief that an agreement is within reach. So what changed? The shortstop market shifted, suddenly in Toronto's favor. When the offseason began, Bichette's market was expected to explode. Teams with deep pockets were projected to pursue him aggressively, but the league moved in a different direction. Clubs are prioritizing pitching, not shortstops. The bidding pool shrank. Toronto suddenly isn't competing against 6 or 7 teams, more likely 2 or 3. That gives the Blue Jays leverage they simply didn't have before. Bichette wants to win. And Toronto's direction. Now matters players pay attention to organizational intent. When Toronto strengthened pitching, stabilized roster construction, and showed signs of building, not tearing down, it shifted Bichette's view. According to people close to him, he values competitiveness above everything else. And for the first time in a while, Toronto looks like a team with a plan. The cost of losing Bichette outweighs the cost of keeping him. Replacing Bo is not just replacing a shortstop, it's replacing a top-tier bat, a stable lineup anchor, a franchise identity, a player who connects eras and fan bases. Losing him sends a negative message to players, fans, and the league. Toronto knows this. Ownership knows this. This is why insiders now describe the extension as not just possible, but increasingly probable. But while that alone would qualify as massive news, the other development, the prediction of a 400-mailer superstar, is what has ignited real shock across the league. The 400-mailer projection. Why executives believe Toronto is a real player. The prediction didn't come from rumor mill analysts. It didn't come from fan speculation. It came from conversations among league executives, people who understand how front offices prepare for long-term financial swings. They believe the Blue Jays are entering a window where adding a 400-mailer World Series champion is no longer fantasy, but strategic logic. So why Toronto? Why now? Toronto has quietly created the conditions for a superstar signing. Over the last 2 years, the Blue Jays have made calculated decisions, avoiding toxic long-term deals, keeping payroll flexible, restructuring the rotation, retaining organizational control over young arms, positioning themselves for a meaningful spending window. A 400-mailer superstar doesn't join a franchise that's lost or drifting. He joins one with trajectory. Executives now describe Toronto as a team on the rise, a roster that could become dangerous with one elite addition. A superstar sees opportunity in Toronto. A generational player wants a chance to win a market that values him, a team with a clear identity, room to elevate performance, the financial commitment he deserves. Toronto checks those boxes, more now than at any point since 2015. This is why the prediction gained traction. But here is where everything crystallizes. This is the moment the speculation becomes reality. Because insiders are not speaking abstractly. They are referring to one specific player, a player entering his prime, a player with a World Series ring, a player whose contract projections sit between 350 and 400 mailers, a player whose offensive and defensive profile fits Toronto's needs perfectly. That player is Kyle Tucker, a true superstar, a Gold Glove defender, a middle-off-the-order bat, a World Series champion, and one of the few players in baseball with the statistical and age profile to justify a $400 million contract. Executives believe he is the most realistic target for Toronto's next era, the kind of franchise-changing bat that instantly shifts expectations and redefines ceilings. The hidden problems. And the final answer. But intentions are not outcomes. Toronto faces obstacles: the massive financial weight of securing both Bichette and Tucker, the risk of locking into two megadeals roster and lineup adjustments, the narrow timing window in which both moves must align. However, when analyzing the structure, the finances, the roster, and the trajectory, the conclusion becomes clear. The optimism around Bichette is real. The projection linking Toronto to a $400 million star is grounded in actual conversations, and Kyle Tucker is, without question, the most viable superstar candidate for this scenario. The opportunity exists. The window is open. And for the first time in years, Toronto stands not on the outside looking in, but directly in front of a breakthrough moment. Should the Blue Jays go Allen? Should they lock down Bichette first? Should they pursue Tucker aggressively? Let me know your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe for more Blue Jays breaking news.